Hey guys, my name is Matsumo, and today I'm excited to say that we finally know all the details about the new season coming to Rainbow Six Siege, which includes the new operator, the favela rework, and also some changes that were definitely unexpected. And so to start things off, the new operator is named Thunderbird, and she looks incredible. She's gonna have access to the Spear primary. Apparently, Ubisoft thought that no one plays Finka or even likes this weapon, because let's be honest, who likes the Spear? So let's give it to a defender. And on defense, I have a feeling it's gonna be amazing. It hits like a truck, and also because of some changes that we'll get to here in a second, it's also laser beam like accurate. On top of that, she's also going to be able to use the spaz alongside either nitro or the impact nade. Now, where things get interesting though is with her gadget. She is essentially going to be a substitute, or in some cases, a replacement to Doc. The way that she works is that she places down basically healing stations, and then as long as it's not on cooldown, it will heal anyone, and I mean anyone, a defender or an offensive character, for 30 HP. Now, this can also, just like Doc, overheal for that amount as well. And so you're gonna be able to scatter these around the map, and if you use them tactically or effectively, it could be a great way of keeping your team topped off throughout a match, even if you do get taken out at the beginning of a round. Unlike Doc players, who are normally pretty selfish when it comes to giving out heals, if he gets taken out at the beginning, he's now useless for his team. But with her, if she does, these stations are still going to be scattered around, providing that team benefits. Now, are these going to be a replacement to Doc? It remains to be seen. The tricky thing about it is that I found already during the testing is that a lot of times they didn't really provide that much benefit, because once they actually do activate, they go on a pretty lengthy cooldown, and a lot of times it just gives your teammates an overheal. Now, there's nothing wrong with overhealing, because if someone was just about to round the corner, it can mean the difference between you coming out and winning and losing, but a lot of times it's at the beginning of a round, and then when you really need the heal, it's still on cooldown. And so I have a feeling that the player base is gonna need to be a little bit creative when they're using this device. If you just put it on directly the angle that you're holding, getting a random heal every 30 seconds isn't really gonna be all that helpful. But if you put it into like a little nook or a corner where your team can run on up and get like 2 heals really quickly and then get back into the action, that might be a better use of this gadget. It's gonna be really interesting to see how everything kind of evolves. Now, the one small concern I do have with Thunderbird is that while I don't think that her gadget is going to be overpowered, I think it's going to have its usefulness, but it's not really going to be game-breaking. It's really going to come down to the fact that she's 3 speed, which is already highly desirable, and she has an incredible weapon. Yes, the spear on offense, not so great, but on defense, where you can kind of control the engagements and make sure that things are up close, it's kind of amazing. This thing will 3-shot most characters. Like, it is going to be incredible, and I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards her if they like playing someone like Jaeger. She already sort of even looks like Jaeger. Now, a lot of people may not find this to be an issue, but I'm just hoping that she doesn't become one of those new operators where everyone plays her, not because necessarily of her gadget, but because they like to roam and just destroy people with an incredibly powerful weapon. We're gonna have to wait and find out. Now, the one change I'm incredibly excited about is that Ubisoft is getting rid of bullet holes. I cannot express how excited this makes me. You've probably been in this situation. A person takes a couple of shots in a wall, they get right up close next to it. You have no idea that they're there, because obviously you didn't drone out the entire building looking for small little holes around the map. You walk into his vicinity, he only sees like your outline or a little bit of movement, he drills you through the wall and takes you out. It's incredibly frustrating. Ubisoft has removed that aspect from the game. I know that some people like this aspect of Siege, but for me and from the way that Ubisoft has described it, it's not engaging. And so while you'll still be able to open up larger holes with your primary weapon, you're just gonna have to put more shots into the wall to be able to do so. You can also use melee to do it as well. And so just in general, I think this was a long time coming. It's one of the more frustrating aspects. It's never enjoyable to get taken out in this way, and I'm really happy that Ubisoft has made this change. Now, that isn't the only exciting addition with this season, because Ubisoft is also going to be nerfing some of the more powerful operators on defense, which includes Maestro, Mira, and Melusi. Now, we already knew about the Melusi nerfs a while back, but I guess Ubisoft is finally happy with the direction that they're going with her. And needless to say, Melusi's, I don't think, going to be nearly as powerful as she is right now. The way that she's now going to work is that she can still place her gadget basically anywhere, on the floor, on the wall. It's still going to make that loud, audible sound when anyone walks within the vicinity. It's still going to slow down their movement, but instead of requiring the player to physically walk on over and melee it, which is usually going to put you at a massive disadvantage, the gadget itself will open on up and then give that offensive operator the opportunity to take a shot at it and just outright destroy the gadget. It's going to be a massive nerf. Another couple operators that are seeing some changes is Maestro and Mira. We all know that Mira has been one of the most meta-defining operators ever introduced into Rainbow Six Siege. It's the reason why she has one of the largest ban rates on defense. No one wants to go against her on some maps because it feels like you're just hitting a wall if you don't have the right operator or strategy to work around it. But Ubisoft has been fairly reluctant to make any significant changes to her until now. So with both of these operators, you now on offense or on defense, if you want to, I guess, I don't know why you would, you can now walk up to a Mira or a Maestro camera, melee it, and it will crack the entire screen so you can't see what's on the other side. Admittedly, this is probably going to be more of a nerf to Maestro, because players usually like to put his gadget out in the open. While an offensive operator isn't going to be able to just outright destroy it, they can just walk on up, crack the screen, and now he can't see through the camera. He has to actually open up the gate to see what's on the other end, which is going to leave it vulnerable. So it's going to severely limit the places he can actually put these around the map. As for Mira though, while this is still a nerf, don't get me wrong, it is going to be a bit trickier to pull off one of these maneuvers and actually crack the glass. Because if anyone is watching her gadget from the opposite end, if they see you walking up, they're just going to peek their head out around the corner really quickly and take you out like normal. So you have to be a bit sneaky about it. I can see smoke nades being incredibly valuable now against her. Throw down that smoke screen, walk on up really easily. She's not going to know you're there. Crack the glass and move on. That is going to be very, very beneficial. You no longer have to find some weird angle from below or above or use Twitch's drone to actually open up the canister. So I do think this is going to be a great step in the right direction. Another thing that Ubisoft has been working on is the weapon customization. I'd like to say it's made things more interesting, but I'm not sure. So if you now use a compensator, it is going to reduce your weapon's horizontal recoil and only the horizontal. If you use a flash hider, it's only going to do the same thing, but for vertical. How is this going to change the game? Really, it's just going to force you to now go through all of your weapons and decide which one of these suits that weapon in particular and your playstyle. So for Buck in particular, I hardly ever play as him because I find his vertical recoil to be completely unmanageable. Yeah, it's got some horizontal here and there, but his vertical is quite rough. And so now if I just put a flash hider on it, I was having a lot of fun with him. But I'm now going to have to make that choice for pretty much every single character in the game. And so I don't think it's a terrible change. I think I would have rather them flush out other aspects or maybe added different attachments or other ways to customize your character, because this just seems like a small slight adjustment that is now just going to force people to go through all their operators once again to make these slight adjustments. It seems a little unnecessary, but maybe I just have to put more time into it. Now, as for the favela rework, it has to be one of the largest and most substantial updates that they've made to a map. A lot of times you can identify, once they've gone through, key landmarks around the map. Oh, that was master bedroom. I remember that from the previous version. I can kind of orient myself and know generally where I am and where I should be heading. That is not the case with favela. Because the original version was so flawed, it had so many issues, Ubisoft basically had to scrap the entire map and basically built something new from the ground up. You're not going to recognize this favela. Maybe some things on the outside, like the little soccer court and things like that, but everything on the inside is entirely different. Also, it went from one of the most destructible environments in this game, where pretty much every surface on the outside is a soft wall, to like one wall is now destructible. Like it is an entirely different map. The one thing I'm disappointed by with this though is that it's only going to be available in casual. You cannot play this in ranked or in unranked. And that feels like such a missed opportunity, especially considering that they clearly made a brand new map. Why not take the extra effort to ensure that it is highly competitive and that your ranked players, because there's people in Rainbow Six Siege that don't enjoy casual, they have no intention of ever playing in casual. why not allow them the opportunity to enjoy this content, especially if it is such an extensive rework? And so I just feel like that's a missed opportunity. In general, though, I had a lot of fun with the map. It's incredible to look at. Like, the art department always does a fantastic job. I really just wish that they tried to make it more competitive and allowed it to be in ranked. The final massive change that is potentially coming with this season, because Ubisoft has said it's not quite ready, they want player feedback, it may not go through if people aren't too thrilled by it, is the ability to use your drone or your gadgets, if like your Maestro Echo, after you get taken out in a round. This could revolutionize and completely change the way that we play the game. Even during my brief testing, I already realized how strong it was. I was spectating my teammate, and then I had the thought like, oh yeah, I can switch to my drone. And so I just droned up the staircase, identified where that last defender was, made the call out, and then we won the match because of it. It was incredibly powerful. Now, I believe that Ubisoft is doing this for two different reasons. The first one is just player engagement. There's a lot of downtime in Rainbow Six Siege, and to lessen that and get people involved more, if you can actually drone and make callouts throughout a round, that's going to increase that engagement. The second reason is that defense is just powerful, and this is Ubisoft, a not really so subtle way at trying to increase the power of the offensive team, increase their win rate so that it's a little bit more even. That's another reason. In general, this is, I think, going to require a lot of testing. As I said, this is going to completely change the way that people play this game, and it could be for the better, but it could also be for the worse. It's going to require an extensive amount of time. In general, though, I'm incredibly excited about the new season of Rainbow Six Siege. I do have some concerns here and there, but in general, I'm really looking forward to the shakeup in the meta with a couple of the operator nerves. Hopefully, it also reduces a lot of the frustration that can happen, some quality of life improvements, and Thunderbird looks like a really cool addition. Let me know what you guys think about all of these changes, though. Are you looking forward to the new operator? Do you think that she's going to be balanced? Give me your guys' thoughts down below. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and so until next time, have a good one and take it easy.